You want me to put that on my todger?
Can't wait for her to go. Harry's wife thinks she's popular. She thinks she's popular because her narcissism tells her that she is. There are instances where that delusion is supported by reality because people do cheer and applaud her, reinforcing her view that she is both popular and important. Members of the idiotic Sussex squad also give her a suggestion of importance and popularity. What she fails to appreciate is that the vast majority of people on the planet are either not interested in her or actually dislike her, and they far outnumber the number of supporters that she now has. The balance has very much shifted and did so quite some time ago. But for a narcissist such as Harry's wife, she maintains that she's popular, that she's loved, and with good reason, and that with anybody that thinks to the contrary, where they are simply a hater, that they're a bigot, that they are a racist. Notwithstanding this, she finds herself in a position of unpopularity again. This time, it's with her neighbours. According to Alex West in The Mirror, Harry's wife's US neighbour says they can't wait for high and mighty Star to leave. Harry's wife's neighbours are said to be counting down the days until she's gone from their area. Apparently, the Duchess has an attitude problem, with a neighbour calling her high and mighty. Speaking with the Daily Express, the resident said, "We cannot wait for her to go," adding they believe that she is manipulating Prince Harry. The words echoed what her own father said after he called Harry's wife out on ITV's Good Morning Britain this week, when he was asked if he blamed Harry for how Harry's wife has changed. He replied, "I don't know if I blame her or Harry. I think she has an influence on Harry more than he does on her." Pausing there, it's absolutely the case that she has far more of an influence over Harry than he does on her. Harry's influence on her is simply confined to this: is he under control or is he not? Is he providing fuel or is he not? Those are his behaviours which influence Harry's wife and her appropriate response. If he's under control, all well and good, and he's been given a little doggy treat and told well done, patted on the head like the ginger poodle that he is. If he's not under control, or there's no information as such, Harry's wife has to bring him under control. Sometimes she will do so in a benign way, praising him, possibly even giving him a bit of spicy poontang. But increasingly, because he's in the sustained devaluation, she will do so through malign ways, triangulating him. Why can't you be more like your brother? Upbraiding him for something that he's done, criticising him, insulting him, giving him a silent treatment, possibly even utilising mild physical violence against him. All of that is done to ensure that he's brought under control. With regard to fuel, similarly, there'll be instances where he's not providing any, and therefore she will need to manipulate him in order to cause that fuel to flow once again. In some instances, she will ignore the failure to provide fuel and go and get it elsewhere. But that's the limit of the impact that Harry has upon his wife. It's all about whether he's under control or not, and whether he's providing fuel or not. He doesn't influence her opinions. He doesn't influence her actions through what he says or does. It's all linked to the notion of control and fuel. However, she very much influences his behaviour because he is the victim in this scenario. Of course, he's a willing victim. One would suggest that he's actually moved to the status of volunteer because he knows there's something wrong with her behaviour. He can see that the things that she does are inappropriate, but he still goes along with it. For instance, we all saw his reaction when she engaged in that disgusting mock curtsy. Nevertheless, whilst his own disapproval was writ large upon his face, did he do anything about it? It would appear not. The reason being is he will now realise, like a beaten dog, that it is better to just shut up and go along with things. Once in a while, he may fight back and an argument will ensue. But in many instances, like many victims of narcissists, he recognizes that the most appropriate thing that he can do is just stay quiet, because that way life is easier. He just wants a quiet life, and he does not want to cause the beast to be unleashed. And talking of that beast, well, it isn't the first time that a neighbour has flagged an issue with the royal couple. US Navy veteran Frank McGinty wanted to welcome the pair when they moved in, but was allegedly met with disinterest when he went to greet them. He wanted to offer them some films, but says he was turned away. He explained at the time, "The gate guy turned me away and wouldn't take the film, just saying they're not interested. I was trying to be neighbourly. If they were interested in the neighbourhood, I've got a lot of information." Admitting that the neighbourhood doesn't see much of them around, the veteran explained that it was weird that they were there to begin with. He said, "It's surprising they came here. People are typically older. It's where the elephants come to die." Harry and Harry's wife moved to their Montecito home in 2020 amid the chaos of stepping away from the royal family. Despite the love that Harry's wife apparently has for the house, her and Harry haven't been around much lately. They jetted off to Europe to attend the Invictus Games. Harry left first, starting his lengthy stay ahead of his wife. She met him days later, claiming that the delay was only because she wanted to spend a little extra time with her kids. Facade management. It's not a surprise that neighbours want them gone. And it's not a surprise that Harry's wife has been described as operating in a high and mighty manner. As a narcissist, she will exhibit grandiosity and haughtiness. She believes that she's better than her neighbours. She would only want to bother with those neighbours that her narcissism directs that she can get something from, for instance, famous neighbours where she could acquire character traits and residual benefits. But the Joe Ordinaries that are out there, notwithstanding the fact that they're in a well-heeled neighbourhood, are of no interest to her. Her narcissism simply says, they're not worth the effort, so don't bother with them. Remember, when it comes to dealing with people, the narcissism essentially makes an assessment of each and every person that a narcissist meets. To evaluate them, can they be controlled? And if so, in what manner? Are they worth engaging with for fuel? Can they be useful in terms of character traits? And are they useful with regard to residual benefits? If it's deemed that your fuel, character traits, and residual benefits are not going to be of much use to the narcissist, control, of course, must always be obtained, and most likely to be obtained by fobbing you off, by the narcissist ignoring you and essentially jettisoning you, utilizing the third assertion of control. If the narcissism deems that you're worthy of the presence of the narcissist because you've got excellent fuel to be provided, there are character traits that can be obtained, and there are residual benefits that are on offer, then the narcissist is likely to cozy up to you at first using flattery and various benign methods of drawing you in. Where you're an intimate partner, as you know, this will be done through love bombing. A blitzkrieg of activity to cause you to succumb to the charm of the narcissist, but it's only being done to open you up like a can of beans and consume the contents that you offer. Harry's wife is precisely the same. People are just there to be used by her, and if her narcissism deems that you're not important enough, i.e. you don't fit with the prime aims to the degree that are required, she doesn't want anything to do with you, and that's why the neighbours are treated in the way that she has treated them. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.